As the backbone to one of Warped Tour's biggest acts to come, drummer Ryan Seaman was a fixture in the Warped Tour scene. From being reliable, respected, and honestly essential, by 2023 he had been fired from not just one, but two major projects. So how did one of the scene's most trusted drummers end up here? Let's talk about the rise and fall of Ryan Seaman. If you guys are interested in this type of content or like my videos for whatever reason, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I am definitely open to taking comments or suggestions on more artists I should cover. I just personally have not seen a video about this situation, which is wild, and it blew my mind when it happened. And it was honestly hard to find a lot of information about it besides tweets from Ronnie Radke, so I figured I'd make a video about it. So here we go. Ryan Eric Seaman was born on September 23rd, 1983, and got his start the way most scene musicians did, grinding it out on tour, especially Warped Tour. Back in 2002, he got his first major touring opportunity, drumming for Lookout Records artist The Eyeliners on the Vans Warped Tour. That early exposure really opened doors for him. In 2005, he joined the post-hardcore band I Am Ghost, contributing to their debut album, Lover's Requiem, which was released in 2006. By April 2009, he'd moved on to the pop rock band The Bigger Lights, participating in 2 albums and 1 EP before departing in May of 2011. Along the way, he racked up credits with artists like the Brobecks, which was a project with him and also Utah native Dallin Weeks, who ended up joining Panic at the Disco and later ended up starting I Don't Know How But They Found Me, which we'll get to that later. He also worked with artists such as My Favorite Highway, Matchbook Romance, Vana, Kiev, and Aiden, building a reputation as a versatile and dependable touring and session drummer. He wasn't the frontman he didn't need to be. He was the guy you could call when you needed somebody who could play. Then came the big one. In late May 2011, Ryan officially joined the post-hardcore band Falling in Reverse, replacing original drummer Scott Gee, who recorded the Drug and Me As You record. And if you know anything about Falling in Reverse, you know that joining that band was anything but a normal gig. Frontman Ronnie Radke had literally just been released from prison. The band was controversial before they had even played a single show, but they also had a massive already built-in fan base from Ronnie's earlier career with his band Escape the Fate. Ryan helped anchor them into something real. He became the longest tenured drummer in the band's history, stabilizing force behind one of rock's most combustible personalities.
People need to know that I'm not the only one that's running this ship, you know. I love my band, you know. Ryan's a great drummer. He's a great friend. He's always been there for me, you know. I would never turn my back on him.
For years it worked. The band toured relentlessly, released albums, and grew. Ryan was a visible and consistent presence, and then quietly it started to unravel. Cracks started to show in early 2017 as Falling in Reverse were about to release their album Coming Home. I actually got to see Falling in Reverse for the first time on that tour right before Coming Home came out, which I believe was Ryan's last tour, and I got VIP and I got to meet them. I'll put the picture on the screen right here. But basically what happened was Falling in Reverse were slated to go on a tour with Pierce the Veil and Crown the Empire. I remember this because I was really excited. I really wanted to go and see that tour really badly. And then Falling in Reverse basically ended up dropping off the tour due to unforeseen circumstances. By this time, I had heard from a lot of friends locally that there were talks about Ryan leaving Falling in Reverse to work on his own project, which at this time was just kind of unconfirmed chatter I had heard from people that somewhat knew him. I wouldn't say like knew him closely, but were able to like have conversations with him. And this is what I was told, at least. Rumors immediately swirled that there had been a falling out between Ronnie Radke and Ryan Seaman. Then came the tweet. On March 29th, 2017, Ronnie Radke tweeted, "Ryan Seaman is a fucking coward." A tweet which was later deleted. No official explanation was given. Ryan hadn't posted the band's new album, although he did post some of the promo before the album came out. I do vividly remember. Then he went on to delete it. That album was Coming Home, and he wasn't present at band appearances at this point. By April 6th, Ryan had revealed he'd been filling in drums for the band Icon for Hire during their 2017 tour. The split was never formally addressed. Both sides just kind of stayed quiet, and for a while, it looked like the drama was just another Falling in Reverse situation. I mean, I can do a whole video about every single lineup change in Falling in Reverse, and I probably will do that because that's something that I'm very interested in. So if you guys want me to do a complete in-depth video about every member change that has happened in Falling in Reverse, including touring members, because now that's essentially what the band is, let me know and I'll do that. So after leaving Falling in Reverse, Ryan Seaman found something genuinely exciting. He'd been performing on some of Dallin Week's solo material, Dallin being the ex-bass player slash co-songwriter for the band Panic at the Disco. This was a pretty big deal. After they started playing some of these like secret shows and stuff together, Dallin proposed them to become a duo under the name I Don't Know How But They Found Me, and thus began the IDK How era. The IDK How era began with them, like I said, they were playing very small shows in late 2016. They kind of kept everything very, very low key, and they officially debuted at Emo Night, Los Angeles' 2-year anniversary event on December 6, 2016. And when confronted with photos or videos from the show, the duo denied the entire thing. They just said it wasn't real. That never happened. Just you're imagining things, which built a lot of like mystique and intrigue to the entire project. Everyone was kind of like, what's going on? And I remember also looking, I didn't go to any of these shows, but looking online at what Ryan was doing, me just being a massive fan of Ryan in general, I was like, what is going on with all this? So it was a very interesting time. It was a fresh start, a creative partnership built on mutual respect, away from the chaos of his past, and fans loved it. The band had an identity, a sound, and real momentum. It seemed like Ryan had finally landed exactly where he was supposed to be, which brings me to a point that I remember Ryan had a podcast for a while called Ryan Seaman and Friends, and I think it was the episode with the drummer Tosh, who just got the gig with Alkaline Trio, which is massive. Also probably still plays drums for Lady Gaga, also massive. But I think it was on the episode with Tosh where he did say that he was offered to play drums for Billie Eilish, and he was so happy and content with his gig at IDK How, he turned it down. This is when Billie was still kind of on the up and up, like she hadn't fully peaked yet, but she was becoming massive. So I just thought that was an interesting tidbit. And if I can find a sample of that audio, I'll put it in here. If not, you're just gonna have to trust me on this one. I did not hallucinate that situation. But it really seemed like he was where he was supposed to be until it didn't. In 2023, everything started to come apart as Ronnie Radke and Falling in Reverse lead guitarist Christian Thompson both started to tweet cryptic things about a missing $26,000. Very memorable for me. I remember seeing Christian Thompson tweet, I don't know how, but I lost $26,000. I was like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? So allegedly, Ryan had stolen $26,000 via wire fraud of his own bandmate, Dallin Weeks. So these weren't like vague accusations. Ronnie basically was accusing Ryan of federal crimes, which is, pretty serious deal. But also, like, knowing Ronnie, he is one to kind of just accuse people of things. A lot of times it is legit, but I could see a situation where rumors started up and he just kind of jumped on it. I still am a fan of Ronnie, but he do be kind of on one sometimes. According to Radke, Ryan was guilty of multiple wrongdoings, including theft from Falling in Reverse, dishonesty, exploiting Ronnie's bad reputation for sympathy, and taking advantage of people. Ronnie didn't stop there. He also took a minute to revisit old wounds, recalling a story about a sold-out Falling in Reverse show in Salt Lake City, where Ryan allegedly claimed the crowd showed up because of him, which is weird, only to have nobody attend his own DJ set later that night, which is pretty tragic. Ryan being from Salt Lake City, so he thought his entire hometown was there for him, had a DJ set later that night, and nobody showed up. Wah, wah. It was public, it was pointed, and it was clearly personal. It is worth noting that there have been no criminal charges filed. These are still technically just accusations, but if we're considering what happened after all this, it probably does have at least some merit to it. Then came in the confirmation that made the fans sit up, pay attention. In September 2023, Dallin made a statement via social media announcing Ryan's departure from the band, citing, and I quote, a series of broken trusts as the reason for the separation. The statement read, and I quote, regrettably, Ryan will no longer be participating in IDK How. After a series of broken trusts, it became necessary to let him go. While it is very sad to lose a friend of 15 years, IDK How is still very important to me. It is how I provide for my family, and I take that very seriously. So obviously something very serious happened between Ryan and Dallin. I mean, Ryan and Dallin had been playing shows together, making music together since the early 2000s with the Brobecks. So this was like, obviously something horrible had to have happened to cause not only you to lose your bandmate, but like in this quote, he straight up says, you know, his friend. Like they're not good anymore. There were no specific corroborations of Ronnie's financial claims, but the phrase broken trust being plural kind of landed real hard. Weeks had been, like I said, Ryan's creative partner, his collaborator and friend for over a decade, and now he was gone from all that too. The fallout didn't end quietly. While Ryan posted a photo in a burglar costume for Halloween in 2023, which was crazy. I'll put that up on here. Radke screenshotted it, shared it, and then kind of mocked the irony behind all that. Whatever goodwill existed between them was clearly gone. Ryan had become, after that, an active member of the Juliana Theory and Mercy Music, just kind of doing some small tours here and there. I remember they, I believe it was Mercy Music, came to a little venue outside of the city that I live in. I didn't actually go to the show, but I did kind of want to go there because, to be honest, even after all this, I still was hugely inspired by Ryan's playing, whether that be the way he played Falling in Reverse songs live or the way he wrote the drum parts for the first IDK How EP and then the first IDK How record. Still to this day, Ryan has said absolutely nothing about any of this. He literally hasn't spoken about it at all, which is very interesting, especially considering the fact that he had a podcast while all this was happening and he would sit down for hours to just talk with people. This stuff never came up ever. So what is the takeaway here? Ryan spent over 2 decades building a reputation as one of post-hardcore's most dependable drummers. He was the guy behind some of the scene's biggest moments, a constant in a world full of chaos. And then in the span of a few years, he was out of 2 major, massive projects with serious allegations attached to his name. Whether the full story ever comes out, it's unclear. Ronnie isn't exactly known for being the most sane, chill guy, so some of it could be exaggerated, but also I kind of lean on the side of believing him in this one, especially with it being corroborated by the guitar player Christian Thompson, who also has toured and known Ryan for years. But Dallin, a far quieter, less dramatic figure, confirmed the split with language that suggested something very real had happened here. In the music industry, talent will get you in the room and trust keeps you there. And once that's gone, even the best drummer in the world can find themselves on the outside looking in. Yo, what's up? This is Editing Tyler. I'm just hopping in here real quick. I did want to say, obviously, if you guys pay any attention to Ryan, he does currently play drums for Let Live, so it looks like he does have a somewhat decent, stable gig right now. So is there a lesson here to be learned? Not sure, but figured I'd add that in there. Back to the video. If you want more deep dives into scene drama or music industry stories, hit subscribe, like, leave a comment, maybe give me some suggestions on that. Drop your thoughts on Ryan Seaman in the comments. Besides his name being kind of funny, he was definitely an inspiration to me coming up as a drummer. I really looked up to his playing, just all around his personality. He seemed like a very chill guy, especially in all those really old alternative press Falling in Reverse videos. It was just such a weird situation to see unfold, and I've seen nobody talk about it. So I'm curious what you all think about this one. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.